freedom. No, real freedom is the freedom to find a new NoFap strategy.
Today I want to give you a NoFap tip that I haven't really seen elsewhere, but it's something that I've been experimenting with myself. I'll also be giving you an additional tip at the end of this video, so make sure you watch till the very end. Now for the first tip, let me explain to you how it works.
Thank God, bro. I was literally waiting. I was like, what? Fuck, man. NoFap is great. I love it. But, like, I need some tips. It's, like, really hard. It's really hard to do NoFap, you know?
Works. Basically, instead of focusing on maintaining a
Someone if they just said Lexapro. That's pretty funny.
streak, what if you try to focus on the percentage of time that you've succeeded? Instead of aiming for 100% perfection, what if you simply aimed for 95% plus? The reason why I think this might be better is because we humans are simply not perfect. Unexpected things come up, life likes to throw curveballs, shit happens. We mess up from time to
Guys, he's talking about masturbating. I want you to understand. He's talking about accidentally giving in and masturbating. This is a video that gives you helpful tips on how to stop permanently masturbating.
time. But if you messed up for just one day, honestly, how much progress have you really lost? If you've been working out for 3 months and you miss one day, does that mean that you've lost all the gains that you've made? No, it really doesn't. You lost a bit of progress,
True.
sure. But in the big scheme of things, nothing much has changed. You've still been hitting the gym for 3 months, which is great. The same sort of thinking can be applied to NoFap. Let's say you're someone who used to jerk off every day, and you decide to embark on the NoFap journey. You haven't fapped for weeks, but then one day something happens and you slip up just once. How much progress?
Dude, jerking off every day is normal, is healthy. What the fuck? Like, I'm so confused by this. Motherfuckers talking about NoFap like I talk about, setting up a healthy diet. Setting up a healthy diet for yourself and a healthy gym schedule for yourself. Is he dead ass? No, he is dead ass. Yeah, he's over here describing, like, normal concepts that exist in, like, self-help circles, but also can be genuinely helpful. Like, this is like a fucking 5-step program for masturbation. You not a real porn addict, little bro? Yeah, I'm not a gooner, if that's what you mean. I know I'm not. I don't understand. I guess maybe because, like, I come from probably the last generation that had a hard time finding porn. So now it's like it's very different. Like, I feel like this is a purely, like, maybe young millennial and Zoomer Generation Alpha phenomena. This idea of, like, NoFap taking root. I legitimately believe this. I think it's because of the actual unhealthy consequences of having unfiltered, unadulterated pornographic material readily accessible at the palm of your hand at an early age. Because I have no idea what I would be like if I could just, like, pull out Pornhub when I was 13. Holy moly. I mean, I probably wouldn't do shit. I'd probably be gooning. I would literally be the king goon, okay? I'd be a gooner. It's puritanical nonsense. No, I think, like, their solutions is puritanical nonsense, certainly. But having said that, I think that there's probably an issue with, like, kids having access to just as much porn as you can possibly consume throughout the day. That's probably not healthy. I will admit that. You'll go blind. You know what's really funny about that kind of stuff? The real filter that stopped people like myself from developing an unhealthy attitude towards porn wasn't necessarily the thousands of different, like, old wives' tales that people told, like your palms will become hairy, like you're breaking out in zits. You'll go blind if you masturbate. All that stuff obviously was nothing in comparison to the beautiful tug, okay? The tug was too great. It felt too good. I didn't give a fuck. I was like, am I going to be blind? Okay, I guess I'm going to be blind then. Can't stop me, bitch. I'm going to be the blindest gooner you've ever seen, okay? Now, having said that, like the religious guilt or whatever the fuck, that never worked on me. What worked on me was how difficult it was to find. That's it. That's it. Don't act like you were a porn addict, little as Da Vinci drawing his own Mona Lisa to goon over. Degenerate. You should be ashamed. You're not getting raptured.
Have you really lost? I would say not much, and that in the big scheme of things, you've actually managed to reduce the amount of times you fap significantly. You should be feeling happy and proud, not guilty and sad. One of the biggest problems that I've noticed when people focus on streaks is the especially harsh downward spiral that it often leads people down if they do slip up. You feel as if you've lost all the progress you've made so far and that you might as well keep doing it, because why not?
Bro, this is so fucking sad. He's literally talking about, he's giving you like he's giving you actual self-help advice and like actual advice that addicts could benefit from. But it's about masturbating to porn and like engaging in NoFap. It's part of this. Here's the thing. He's talking about relapsing, and what he's relapsing is like masturbating. Insane. I'm 2 hours sober. Shut the fuck up. You're not a real gooner if you're 2 hours sober.
There's nothing else to lose. There's no 10-day, 30-day, 60-day streak that you have to defend.
Dude, the best is, one of the worst parts about Twitch streaming for me has been, I can't hit that midday fap. It feels so good when you just get a day off, you know, and you just get in there midday, maybe even take a nap afterwards. Oh my God. That's heaven right there. I would never deny you of that earthly privilege. Little nap and fap. Little fap and nap.
But the truth of the matter is, oftentimes, that's where the most damage is done. Slipping up once might not make much of a difference, but going on a fap marathon and doing it multiple times a day for a week straight.
Okay, this is, first of all, why are the napkins yellow? Ew. Secondly, yeah, if you're like literally fucking unable to control yourself, holy shit. I feel like a lot of these dudes are actually like chronically addicted to the thrills of gooning. You know what I mean? Like maybe these guys should stop, right? I just don't like it when they're talking about like how everybody needs to stop and what the advantages are of NoFap. Like I get very annoyed about it when they talk about this like insane shit, like about how your semen is where you store all of your testosterone, and if you don't jerk off, you like, you know, you become more powerful. You can fucking levitate and shit. Like shut the fuck up. You're out of your mind.
Definitely causes you to lose a lot, if not all, of the progress you've made so far, which is why I think it could be helpful to have a system in place to prevent the binging. Let me explain to you how this would work. Let's say you've been staying clean for 9 days, and on day 10, you slip up. If we look at this from the typical streak point of view, you've already failed. But if we switch to a percentage way of keeping track, missing 1 day out of 10 only means that you've dropped from 100% to 90%. Yes, it still stings a bit, but it doesn't feel nearly as bad as going from 100% straight down to 0, which which is what essentially happens when you focus on maintaining a perfect streak. And the great thing about the percentage-based mindset is that if you pull yourself back together and avoid fapping for the next 5 days, you'll rise back to a 93%. You actually have a chance to recover from the fall. You have an incentive to get up quickly and try again. With a percentage-based system, every time you slip up, you can see yourself losing more progress. But at the same time, you're being given a chance to recover. With a streak system, you become obsessed with...
Like, you know what's unhealthy? Having this negative of a relationship with masturbating. It's ironic because, like, the old Puritans couldn't even dream of a way to have a future where, like, dudes were telling other dudes not to masturbate vociferously. Like, we got down to a point where we're telling each other, it's like, you know, don't do it.
All or nothing. With a percentage-based system, you understand that mistakes happen, and when they do, you have a reason to get back up to defend the progress you've made so far. Now, it's important to note that in order for a percentage-based system to work, you cannot reset your percentage whenever you want. You have to accept the days you've messed up, or else you will just binge and reset it whenever, like what tends to happen when you try to go for a perfect streak. I recommend resetting just once a year on a memorable day like New Year's or your birthday. Now, I know some...
What? He says masturbate only on New Year's or on your birthday? What? Bro, what is happening, bro? Bro, this is... What the fuck? No, reset the timer. I guess, like... Like, you can just hit reset as in be like... okay, so he's basically saying nut one last time before you hit the reset on your birthday. That's what he's saying. Because the entire purpose of a fucking reset is you fire one off. So he's not saying jerk off on your birthday. He's saying jerk off one day before your birthday and then hit the reset.
Some of you might be thinking, this won't work for me. I'm extremely addicted. I cannot let myself slip up even once. And to that I would say, yes, this is not a cure-all. It's not going to work for everyone, but it is another way of approaching NoFap. I think that this strategy is something that's worth considering, especially if you are prone to binging after messing up just once. And if it doesn't work, no problem. You can always go back to the old strategy.
Dude, how the fuck do you just like, what? You go on Instagram and you see one titty and you're like, I have to go. What is going on? Bro, how can someone be like that? I don't understand it. Are there people actually like this, or are they just like making jokes? I don't know if it's a good thing to let dudes like that not tug it, dude. If you're that horny, it's probably best you fucking let that out of you, dude. You let that evil out. I'm not even kidding. Like, at first I was like, oh wow, like that's crazy. But also, bro's talking about his dick like it's meth. Yeah, dude, you gotta get that evil out of you, brother. I don't know what kind of societal ills you will cause if you keep that evil in you, okay? If you go on Instagram and immediately fucking feel the need to jerk off, I feel like if you go NoFap for an extended period of time, you are eventually going to feel the need to masturbate in public when you, I don't know, when the grocery store clerk tells you to have a good day, okay? Like the old lady Walmart greeter called me handsome, I have to masturbate. Like, I have to literally, I'm whipping it out and I'm jerking off. I'm tugging it. I'm jeeking it right at the fucking, right in front of the automatic doors at Walmart in Dayton, Ohio. Okay. Shit. I'm making eye contact with the lady. She called me sugar. What is happening? How do you get to this point? I don't get it. What the fuck? This NoFap porn addicted bullshit all stems from an unhealthy view of their own sexuality. No one is binging porn for a week if they're not fueled by shame. Also, porn/sex addiction became popularized under the Bush admin by the religious right. Went mainstream with the Tiger Woods affair. Yeah.
And aim for a perfect streak. Now, some of you might also be thinking, well, what about the benefits? Don't you lose them all if you don't maintain a perfect streak? Well, to be honest with you, I don't have a perfect streak. I do slip up here and there. It usually happens when I party a bit too hard, but overall, I do have a 95% plus success rate for this year. And
What does that even mean? Party a bit too hard? Bro, there's something diabolical about counting the days that you haven't masturbated in that year. Oh, damn. October 24th. He went the whole year masturbating only a handful of times.
feel great. I'm still getting all of the benefits, the energy, the confidence, the productivity. It's all still there. Don't get me wrong, I'm trying my best to keep this number as high as possible every year, but I honestly don't feel bad at all if I do happen to slip up from time to time. I feel like a decent amount of negative effects that come from fapping actually stem from the negative self-talk and guilt that comes when we do happen to slip up. Yes, watching porn.
I love that. You said careful. You've discovered moderation. I don't think he's discovered it. But so what happens, like, when you party hard, you get like sad or something? Is that what it is? Like, or like you lose control of oneself and you're just like, I have to hit it. I have to hit the crank pipe. You know what I mean?
Porn messes with your brain, you should avoid that as much as possible. But I think the negative self-talk that comes from slipping up can be just as bad.
I've never seen a video with such good self-help advice for something that is so categorically bad for self-help or helping you. Like, the idea of like developing healthy habits through repetition and not really beating yourself up, no pun intended, when you actually do fail, only to, think about the larger picture and focus on your accomplishments, is actually really good self-help advice. The only problem is he ties this back into his insanely unhealthy relationship with sex and sexuality and masturbation. Thank you, Zach. You're right. It's like Zach says, it's like self-help to stop yourself from being gay. Yeah, literally. Like, it's fine. It's fine to jerk off, man. What the fuck's going on? Like, you should never feel ashamed. It's incredibly healthy. If anything, a big part of the difficulties that we currently experience in contemporary society with respect to interpersonal relationships and communication between men and women, unironically, revolves around women's sexualities being historically and still to this day being repressed. There are adult women that live on this planet right now, a lot of them, as a matter of fact, who have never masturbated. I'm willing to bet there's not adult men. Like, if you look at the percentage of adult women, there was somehow a study conducted, I would bet that the percentage of adult women that have never masturbated would be significantly higher. Actually, there are studies on this. I don't know why I'm saying I'm willing to bet or whatever the fuck. I have seen studies on this. Why? Why is there a major disparity? Is it because women aren't horny? They're horny as fuck. Why are they not flicking the bean? It's because society is designed around controlling what women can and can't do to their bodies, all the way from Roe v. Wade down to not masturbating, not having enough adequate sex health opportunities to learn, a tremendous amount of shame in our culture for that sort of behavior. That shame being completely normalized for women in particular. That's why I'm telling you, there's no way that, well, let's see, according to the National Institute of Health, masturbation prevalence, frequency, reasons, and associations with partner sex in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. No, this is a specific time frame, though. Anyway, let's continue with this.
The second tip I have for you today addresses this, but before I do that, here's a quick word from the sponsors of today's video. This episode is brought to you by BlockRx. Embarking on the NoFap journey can give you a wide range of benefits. Big at hand.
Bro, capitalism is fucking nutso, dude. Hey, your manic ideas, your manic fucking behavior, and your really unhealthy, the really unhealthy relationship you have with something that is like literally self-help, and the most self-help you can. Well, let me help you not engage in self-help. Use BlockRx to quit porn. Jesus Christ.
The second tip I have for you is something that I've also been experimenting with. You might have noticed it throughout the video, and it's the fact that I don't use the word relapse. I prefer to use something like slipping or falling, and that's because I believe that words have power. A word like relapse makes me think of a heroin addict in some...
There it is. Bro, everyone's a liberal. No, I don't think he believes English is magic, chat. No, you do this shit too. No, this is like, oh, we shouldn't call people homeless. We should call them houseless or devoid of shelter. That's what this is. Except he's doing it for porn addiction. He's liberalizing the language, and he's basically he's doing The Secret, okay? But for NoFap, oh god, this is the perfect video. I don't know who sent this to me, but thank you. This is the perfect video. If this video was not made for NoFap and made for alcoholism, I 100% would say this is a great video. I agree with all of it, including this part where he says it's better to reframe it instead of relapse, which seems so final, to slipping up, which means you can get back up. He's not wrong. If this video was about like alcohol addiction or heroin even, which is ironic. Obviously, there's different steps for heroin addiction, but like ironic that he has like such a dehumanizing way of talking about heroin addicts. But
dark room, passed out with a needle in his hand, which only made me feel worse about myself every time I would use it to describe having jerked off. These strong negative emotions that came from this image only made me want to fap even more every time I...
What? Oh, God. Thinking of myself like a heroin addict is so hot. I need to fap again. Bro, this dude faps at a light breeze, brother. Okay. This level of hatred over something so normal and healthy can only happen if you have deep, incredibly fucking repressed puritanical hatred for masturbation that came as a consequence of your early religious indoctrination. There is no fucking shot if we had better sex education. If we had better sex education, motherfuckers would not be running like this. That's crazy, man. This is so unhealthy. To have this relationship with masturbation is unhealthy. It's unhealthy to have this relationship with masturbation, and I think he needs to extrapolate on his like actually healthy self-help advice and recognize that perhaps the pure disgust that he feels for masturbating, calling it like slipping up or acting like it's something bad, is what's causing him to fucking constantly fap. Where it unironically turns into an unhealthy obsession. Do you see what I'm saying? You're obsessed, brother. I don't get it.
I failed. When I use a more playful word like slipping up, I imagine some guy in a restaurant slipping on the wet floor because he didn't notice the wet floor sign.
And then I get horny again and immediately masturbate.
This entire scene to me is actually kind of funny. Like, he should have been more aware, as compared to the scene of the heroin addict, which is just kind of sad. You can even take this further by using a truly ridiculous word, like another phrase that I've been using, I made an oopsie, which is just so silly that I can't help but chuckle when I realized I've messed up. It makes me feel like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that, but in the grand scheme of things, it's just an oopsie. It's not the end of the world, so get back up and focus. I think it's important to not obsess about NoFap so much. The people who truly succeed are the ones that can move on with their life and not think about NoFap every single day. Sure, they might slip up from time to time, but it's no big deal for them. They stand back up, make a mental note that they should stop, and continue on with the rest of their life. Now, both of these tips are things that I've only been experimenting with great success. I hope some of you try them out, and if you do...
Do I have like a superpower? When a man lacks purpose, he distracts himself with pleasures. Yeah, Madi B, what kind of purpose do you have in your life? You know what I mean?
My name is Manit. I am a...
Oh, he's teaching young men self-improvement. That's his purpose. Oh, wow. You're a grifter, but just an unsuccessful one. God damn it, dude. What the fuck is wrong with this world? This is correct. It may take years of applying yourself to quitting any addiction. Eventually, the relapses have larger gaps between them until those gaps are months long. Honestly, once you're in that far, you'll probably have a flat line anyway and won't even feel the desire to go back because you'll be too depressed. Dude, there's something so insane about all of this. The NoFap benefits timeline. Oh my God, I have to see this.
Improvement.
By the way,